Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week number 2 of the ICBA, the International Competitive Battling Association. We are taking on Aberforth and the Newcastle Umbreons. Now, a little spiel before this battle. We are currently 1-0 with a plus, I want to say it's a +4 differential. Yeah, we're 1-0. We took a 4-0 win over Technostrike last week. We are now taking on the Newcastle Umbreons and their coach Aberforth. Now, if you guys don't know who Aberforth is, go check out his channel. He is one of the new coaches over in the GBA D League, along with a very established Ubers player. And one thing that we do have here in the ICBA, we do have some Ubers, so I'm expecting him to use Deoxys speed fairly well. I mean, actually not fairly well. Let's go very well. If you guys ever went and watched his draft analysis, he went into real good detail about Deoxys S, what it's capable to do. So, you guys look at the squads there. We have the Hail offense core. We have an Assault vested the Lowland Muck. We have Spikes, Toxic Spike, Greninja, because his main removal is Aerodactyl. And then we also had HP Poison, Ice Beam. HP Poison is mostly because it does Oko Tapu Bulu, something Ice Beam did not. Then we also have our lead Azelf with Stealth Rocks, Explosion, mostly just trying to get rocks up on his side of the field, because 25% on Thundy and Aerodactyl and Kyurem are very beneficial to me this battle. So main goal, get the rocks up, get some Toxic Spikes, get some Spikes up, and weaken everything so that Alolan Sandslash can go in and essentially just sweep the game. So I'm going to get right into the battle here. Not a fairly long battle, but a very fun battle. So Abe's actually going to lead off with his Suicune here, because I actually did not have much for Suicune. Zapdos had Volt Switch and Heat Wave, so I did not have much to deal with Suicune, and I did not have Taunt on this Azelf. I actually had Knockoff, Explosion, U-Turn, and Stealth Rock. So we're actually going to go for the knockoff here, turn 1. With him leading Suicune, it was mostly, let's negate as much recovery as I can from this thing. So I go for the knockoff, we get rid of the leftovers. He unfortunately burns my Azelf because my plan was to set up my Stealth Rocks and then explode on the Suicune, weakening it. But he's going to actually go out into his Kyurem, which is a very smart move to make sure it's not having to take any damage from the Stealth Rocks here. So now we got Stealth Rocks on my side of the field, and I highly doubt that he's Defog Aerodactyl. So it goes both ways. He could be choice locked. I really expected choice banded Aerodactyl, but his Kyurem's going to be able to pick up the first kill of the game by taking out my Azelf, and Azelf just did what it needed to do, get the rocks up. But he did show that he has Scarf Kyurem, which allows me to go out right into my Ninetales very easily, and this now can let me set up a nasty plot, because 10 out of 10 times his switch-in is going to be Heatran, because Alolan Ninetales can't do much outside of HP ground. And the Stealth Rocks are actually important because I needed them to essentially Oko this Heatran. So we have the nasty plot up, and I just go for the HP ground this next turn, being able to take out the Heatran. Ninetales picking up its 3rd kill of the season, and it's actually a Pokemon that I think is really underrated. A lot of people put the effort onto screen support, but the base 109 speed that Ninetales had is very beneficial to it. So he's just going to go out to Scarf Kyurem, and when he went out to this, I knew my prep that I had in place for this thing worked out. This Ninetales I have is actually Babiri Berry, and he's going to show the Flash Cannon now. I could have saved Ninetales for later on in the battle in case something else had a Steel-type move, but I'm already +2. I'm set up. Ninetales is here to damage as much of the team as I can. So we're just going to click Moonblast here, and down goes the Kyurem. So Ninetales right away with 2 kills very early on in the game, and at this point, he is just going to go into his Aerodactyl, and there's not much I can really do. I don't have a really dedicated Aerodactyl switch in. I don't want to switch out into a Alolan Muck, predicting the Stone Edge. My best option is actually my Alolan Sandslash, But here he shows Rock Tomb, which is a very good prep on his part, knowing that my team is pretty fast, so the Rock Tomb is actually good. Here he's going to actually withdraw his Aerodactyl, and I make the double knowing that I probably don't outspeed this thing, and he could potentially be going out into Suicune. It's just a very easy solution. But I was mostly worried about the Earthquake, so I just swapped out into my Zapdos. And here I just go Greninja. I was really expecting him to switch out into... I believe I was expecting him to go to his Aerodactyl, pretty much... not his Aerodactyl, his Deoxys. But this now allows me a chance to get my actual Toxic Spikes up, and here he shows the Calm Mind, and now I am terrified because I have no real way to hit this Suicune at all. And I know I need Greninja later on in the battle in case I need to maybe potentially scare out his Aerodactyl. So I'm just going to go out to Ninetales and sack it off because, one, I can scare him out with the Freeze Dry potentially. So that's one thing, is I can go scare him out with the potential Freeze Dry, or I can just have the Hail up to deal some damage to him. So I go for the Nasty Plot here. I probably should have just clicked Moonblast to try to weaken it, but I was expecting to get into a Calm Mind war with the Suicune. But instead, he's just going to go for the Scald. I was really just hoping he went for the Calm Mind, that way I could potentially deal some damage to this Suicune. And now he's just going to go out to his Thundurus Therian, making the good play here on my Volt Switch, which now allows his Thundurus to get up to full health. Now, looking at Thundurus, it does rip a hole through my team with one exception, and that's my Alolan Muck sitting in the background, but in order for it to really just wreck house on my team, it does need to outspeed it. So I figured this thing would have to be agility for it to outspeed my Greninja, my Alolan Ninetales, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to show the agility. So now he's at +2 speed. He's taking hail damage, so is my Alolan Muck. But thankfully we're Assault Vest, we're careful, max special defense, max HP, so we're going to take these Thunderbolts actually pretty well. And this will set me up in a very good position to just click Knockoff. We are going to be getting rid of his Zap Plate, and unfortunately we do get the Poison Touch Poison. I know it's only 30% chance, I believe, but this is just very important because it just weakens his Thundurus to the point where he's just in a difficult spot and just has to end up sacking it off. And Alolan Muck will pick up a kill, our Alolan Pokemon so far with 3 of the kills so far this game. He's going to go out to Dumet. Now, I do not want my Muck getting burned because it still has to deal with the Deoxys Speed. I mean, this is my only really dedicated switch into Deoxys Speed, so I need to really just save the Alolan Muck in the background in case he does have it set up Deoxys Speed. So he's just going to go for the Scald here on my Zapdos. Now, the Toxic Spike's very good because now that Suicune's taken 12% every turn. Here he's just going to set up a Calm Mind as I'm just going to click the Volt Switch. One of 2 plays went through my head this turn. One was making sure that I got a Tailwind up because I can still win this game with Alolan Sandslash. 2 was potentially roosting to get a lot of get back to full HP. But I ended up just clicking Volt Switch, and this allowed me to go into my Greninja. Now here comes his Aerodactyl. So I don't have Water Shuriken, so I just click Ice Beam, and after the game he actually ended up telling me he's Scarfed, and this crit actually mattered. He needed a little bit more damage on my Greninja for it to actually take it out. So at the time I thought I can just go to Zapdos, and end up realizing that was the wrong play here because I forgot about Unnerve at the time. I'm like, oh wait, I actually lose to this Aerodactyl. And I didn't know it was choice locked at the time because I knew it had naturally outsped. He's going to go for the Iron Head, and unfortunately for him, he's going to end up missing his Stone Edge, as the Alolan Sand Slash will actually come in and pick up a kill, as we're going to take Life Orb damage. And all that he has left is his Deoxys Speed. So one of two things were going through my head this turn. One, I can set up a Swords Dance, or two, I just go for the Iron Head. I was fully expecting my Alolan Sandslash to die here if he did have Focus Blast, but instead he sets up the Nasty Plot, and I am actually just going to go for the Iron Head. I felt like damage is more important. That way it can set me up for Alolan Muck to just click Shadow Sneak and end the game. And here he's actually going to show off his Z move, the Icium Z. And it is the Sub-Zero Slammer, and that will actually not take out my Alolan Sandslash, as I do resist it ×4. And it leaves me with enough HP to where I can take a Life Orb hit. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Sandslash is just going to go for the Iron Head and just knock out the Deoxys Speed, and we will pick up a 2-0 win over Aberforth and the Newcastle Umbreons. It was a good game, Aberforth. I played it really dumb there and not going Alolan Sandslash first, and he also made the misplay of not going out into his Deoxys Speed, saving his, what I did not know, Choice Scarf Aerodactyl. So, just played really bad around that entire sequence of turns. But we are now sitting at 2-0. We are taking on the Worcester Walreins next week and their coach Equa. So if you guys enjoyed the battle, go ahead, leave a like down on the video, comment your guys' support, and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon Wi-Fi content. Also, if you guys enjoyed the new layout, go ahead, leave a like about that. Let me know if there's anything you want me to change on this layout, background, TCG art, you name it. Just let me know down in the comment section. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.